Hello, welcome to the first ever episode of Candidly Delicious, the show. Today I am going to demo for you Cranberry-Pear Pie, which is perfect for Thanksgiving. I'm so excited to share this recipe I have been working on with you today. So let's dig in and get started. I'm gonna go grab my apron and we'll begin. Out there, huh? Hi, welcome back. I'm all set. I got my apron, my hair's pulled up, and we're ready to dig in. The first thing we're gonna do is talk about the quality of your cranberries. This is a cranberry pie, so it's very important to use only firm cranberries. As you're going through, I actually squeeze every single cranberry that I put in the pie, every single one. A nice hard cranberry will go in. These are great. Anything that's squishy, you can see the squish on that, out. I just get rid of it. So you wanna make sure that you have the best possible cranberries for this pie. So let's move on to what you need next. Now the kind of crust that I recommend you use is my flaky pie crust recipe, which I will link for you either on the screen or down below. Flaky pie crust, and you're going to give it more of a coarse grind when you're making it so that it can handle the liquid from the fruit while it's baking. Now I already have pie crust made in my fridge waiting for us. It's chilling in there. So when we're ready for crust, I'll go grab that. Let's now get started on our cranberry pie filling. So we're gonna wanna get our pan heated to medium, and we're gonna put in our cranberries, sugar, and then we're going to take a separate bowl and we're going to mix orange juice and cornstarch and we're going to whisk that together. And when you whisk the cornstarch into a liquid like this is called a slurry. So we're gonna whisk this into a slurry. It has kind of like a orange creamsicle color to it. Looks yummy. Although I don't think you really want to eat just cornstarch and orange juice by themselves, as good as it looks. Okay, so whisk that up really good so that you don't feel any, as you're scraping through with your whisk, you shouldn't feel any bits of cornstarch down at the bottom. You want to have it fully dissolved. We're gonna add that in immediately. And now we're gonna stir. This is going to make kind of a thick sauce with the cranberries, and we're going to want to heat this until most of the cranberries are bursting. Not necessarily every single one, but we're going to want to be able to press down with our spoon and burst most of the cranberries. So let's get going on that. It's time to shut off our heat and add the last two ingredients to our filling. Now we're going to add cardamom and pears. The cardamom is going to give a nice subtle flavor, just a subtle sweet and spice to the filling. And the pears, because cranberry is such a harsh taste, the pears don't add a ton of flavor themselves. What they do is they moderate the harshness of the cranberries so that it ends up being a sweeter filling than if you were to just use cranberries alone. There you go. So we're not going to cook this with the pears in it. The heat is off. We are only going to stir this in, and then I'm going to remove it from the heat completely and let it cool to about room temperature before I actually put it into the pie. Okay, so this just came out of the fridge. It's been chilling for probably an hour. that there. Cover that with flour. And then over here, I'm gonna take my rolling pin. I wanna take the guides off of it. I don't need them for the first part here. I'm gonna gently flour it. And then we're gonna roll this out. And you want it to be as round as possible. So you're gonna wanna roll it in kind of a circle. So once you have it even, you can use the pie guides here, the thickness guide. I use it at the end just to check my thickness. If you use it in the beginning, once you like roll over like this, it's just gonna cut your dough up, so you don't wanna do that. You just wanna use it as a checking guide when you're done. Okay, so now this is ready to go on top of our pie plate. And we're not going to trim the edges yet. We'll wait to do that until after the whole top crust is done. Here we have our filling where we left off. And we're just going to put that into our crust. There we go. And I'm actually going to go ahead and refrigerate this just like it is while we prepare the top crust. Okay, so here's the dough for the top crust. I'm going to go ahead and roll it out. Some flour here. It's the way that I'm going to design the crust. It's not so important that this is a circle, so I'm just going to kind of roll it like rectangular. That will actually make it a little easier to do strips. All right, so now we have a few tools that we can use to decorate the pie. I have leaf cutters that will make a leaf shape, and they will also do an impression of the veins of the leaf into the dough, so it's a very nice, like realistic looking leaf. I have these braid impression mats we can use. Of course, I have a pastry cutter, which we can use to just simply cut strips. And then when we're ready to put everything together, we want to have a turntable so that we can rotate the pie. So let's start by cutting shapes. I'm going to be doing a lot of leaves, so I'm just going to start pressing out leaves. The first thing I do is I line it up, press it down, and then I push down the button because that's what's going to make the impression on the inside, and then you lift the whole thing and use that same button to pop out the dough. Alright, so now we have a whole pile of leaves, and I'm just trimming off the excess here. You don't re-roll pie dough, you don't use your scraps. Like, you don't want to roll it back out and use it again. It's not going to have the right texture, the right consistency. If you do that, it won't be flaky. Okay, so what we're doing here is I'm trimming this so that's a little more rectangular, and I'm going to, you can cut plain strips. I'm actually going to use the braid impression mat to do a ring around the outside of the pie. So we gotta get our edges cleaned up here. Okay, now we're gonna begin. There's about room for two, it looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna cut my strips, which you just press the dough in. Squish it down in there, squish, squish, just squish it in real good. Make sure you have enough dough. Do the next mat. Go, press, press, Squish it down in there. Try to squeeze it around evenly. Okay, then when you're done, you're gonna take your pastry cutter and you're gonna go gently over the top. See, I'm just doing a gentle back and forth motion to trim any excess dough so it doesn't come out sloppy. And we'll pop those out. Perfect. Beautiful. I'm gonna do a couple more. I'm back and we're all set up to do the top crust. I have the leaves that we prepared. I have the molded braids. I have a finger bowl of water. I have our pie, which just came out of the fridge, on a turntable so we can spin it. The crust is really sensitive. It has to be as cold as possible, so that's why I continuously keep putting, anytime I don't need it, I keep putting the pie into the refrigerator. And as soon as we get this top on, we're gonna put it back in the fridge. So let's get this going. You're gonna use your finger bowl, gently wet the outer ring. We're doing this so that the braids we made will adhere. There we go. Gently pressing it down. But as you are rotating them around each other, you'll need to wet the edges a little bit. So I'm going around the center leaf in a ring. There we go. Ta-da! See how nice it looks. Okay, so now I'm going to crimp with my finger the edges, kind of using the glass, which is already crimped, as a guide. I'm doing that for two reasons. One, I'm thinning the dough around the edge and connecting it to the pan. Two, I've loosened it, so it's very easy for me to now remove. I'm just gonna rotate this. Ta-da! You have it. All right, so we'll come right back and we're gonna egg wash and sugar this, and then we're gonna throw it in the oven. I am back. I just pulled this out of the fridge where I chilled the entire pie for 20 minutes. Here we have 1 beaten egg, pastry brush, sugar, and a spoon. We're gonna egg wash and sugar the top crust before we bake it. Also right now I have the oven heating up to 425, so you probably wanna go and do that also. And then check back with me while we brush this crust. Okay, so just a light amount of egg over the entire crust. Okay, so see how I'm gently tipping only the edge of the brush over the leaves, because you don't want to get a bunch of egg inside your delicious cranberry filling. Okay, so we have our egg. Now we're gonna sugar the crust. It's okay if you get a little bit of sugar on top of your cranberry filling, but I'm gonna use the spoon to help guide the sugar just to where I want it to go. All right, so we've sugared the crust, it's egg wash, we've got sugar on top, and now we're ready to bake it. I'm gonna use this, which is a protector for the outer edge of the pie. And we're gonna gently place it over the edge of the pie, which just helps prevent burning around the edge. There you go. Now this will bake about 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, and then you'll take the ring off carefully with like a hot pad, and then we're gonna bake it the last 10 minutes till it's fully cooked and all of the crust is like starting to brown. And that's how we'll know when it's ready. The pie is cool now, and I've cut myself a slice, and I just can't wait to taste it. The tartness from the cranberry is so good, but it's not overpowering. There's enough sugar that it's enjoyable. It tastes like a dessert. The crust is so buttery. All it needs is a little bit of cream and I'm in heaven. Well, thank you so much. Just keep eating. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and making this amazing pie. And I hope that you make this pie at home too, and send me your pictures if you do.